Yes, fight fans, this is Body and Mind Sports, and welcome to another session of Boxing Talk. In this video, I'm going to be discussing the Vergil Ortiz Serhii Bohachuk fight that took place over the weekend for the WBC Interim Super Welterweight Championship belt. Let's go. So, okay, as you know, Vergil Ortiz had a fight with Serhii Bohachuk for the super welterweight interim belt and came up trump, winning by majority decision on the judges' cards. However, that fight was not without controversy, not because the fight was close, not because it was a very grueling fight, very action-packed, going back and forth. Both fighters did their part to please the fans, so the fans won in that case. However, despite the decision, many boxing personalities, media, fans, myself included, also thought that Vergil Ortiz actually lost that fight. Okay, so what does that mean for Vergil Ortiz? Well, Vergil Ortiz, before his fight with Bohachuk, had already been lined up to fight Terence Bud Crawford, who is the #1 pound for pound fighter in the whole wild world. Under one condition, Vergil Ortiz was to win his fight versus Serhii Bohachuk, which he did. So he somehow satisfied, controversially satisfied his obligation to get that fight. So now, the reason why he's been pitted against Terence Crawford was because of the breakdown in discussions with Turki Al-Sheikh and Canelo Alvarez in Turki Al-Sheikh attempting to make a fight with Canelo Alvarez and Terence Bud Crawford. Turki Al-Sheikh continued having any discussions with Canelo Alvarez in making that fight, and Turki Al-Sheikh's account, due to the numerous excuses that Canelo Alvarez was presenting as a barrier in order to stop the fight from happening, i.e., after the Terence Crawford Majumov fight, Canelo Alvarez took the opinion that, however true that opinion, or however how it felt, how true that opinion was in his own heart, we don't know. But this is what he said. Canelo Alvarez said that he thought that Terence Crawford was too small for his weight class, and if Terence Crawford was to step up 3 divisions to face him at 168, that Terence Crawford would be an easy fight. Not only an easy fight, but Terence Crawford would be an easy money fight. Therefore, although he's not interested in fighting Terence Bud Crawford, if it's for a good substantial amount of money, meaning if the price is right, that Canelo Alvarez, would take the fight in a heartbeat. And that's what we thought would happen. But wait, before I give you the full story, let me just say that Canelo Alvarez also added, when asked about what he thought about the Terence Crawford and Majimov fight, he said that although Terence Crawford is very talented, now he knows that there are weight classes for a reason. You know, mind games, a lot of mind games Canelo Alvarez is playing there. I know exactly what he means by that, and everybody knows, you know, but we all know that he doesn't mean it. He doesn't mean it. That man has a lot of fear in his heart, you know, and all these excuses are all presented as a barrier to stop the fight from happening in the first place. Now, this led to Canelo Alvarez, you know, in that interview, the Majimov fight, that is, saying, like I said before, Terence Crawford is a easy fight, blah 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 blah. While you know, unknowing to us that Canelo Alvarez had already been offered a huge sum of money, you know, on the table, a sum totaling 100 million. 100 million. Now, I'm hearing from some sources that the amount was actually over 110 million. How true that is, I don't know. But I know 100 million for sure. 100 million or probably over. Okay. For somebody, Terence Crawford, who Canelo Alvarez sees as an easy fight, as an easy payday, someone who he would easily beat if Terence Crawford moved to 168. You know, someone who he thought, you know, was too small for super welterweight division, according to his account, saying over the Majimov and Crawford fight that now Crawford knows that there are weight classes for a reason. You know, so why not take the 100 million on the table? You know, who on earth gets 100 million for an easy fight? This is not this is not Canelo versus Benavidez. This is Terence Crawford, the pound for pound fighter, #1 fighter in the world. However, a much smaller figure in terms of thickness, girth, and weight than Canelo Alvarez. So they're fighting in two completely different stratospheres, you might as well say. So that says a lot, you know, about the ability of Terence Bud Crawford for even people to be putting him in the same, you know, category, or even in a conversation regarding Saul Canelo Alvarez, you know, who is a terror in his own right. So, however, the base point is, Canelo Alvarez, you have been offered 100 million on the table for an easy fight to face Terence Crawford. But guess what? Canelo Alvarez flat out refused it. So by my logic, you're refusing 100 million for an easy fight. Not only did he do that, but he dared to ask for 50 million more on top of that as a minimum to face Terence Crawford. And I'll keep saying it over and over again. You know, according to Canelo, an easy fight. He wants 150 damn million. Wow. Wow. Canelo Alvarez has not even earned anywhere near 100 million in his entire career, let alone in his entire life. He has never earned that. You know, so we could all see the Canelo's, you know, time-wasting tactics, creating barriers in order to stop the fight from happening. But to make things worse, He even threw salt in on top of injury by saying that he doesn't like the way that Turki Al-Sheikh does business. That Turki Al-Sheikh wants business done his way, but Canelo Alvarez, rather Turki Al-Sheikh does business his own way, the Canelo way. You know, they're getting easy fights way, getting big pay, big money for easy fights way, which he has been doing throughout his career, facing smaller fighters. Ducking. Benavides for how long? Dr. Charlos, when they were in the same class, meaning Jamal Charlo. Okay, so this man has been ducking his whole life. And Turki Al-Sheikh wasn't having it. So when he heard what Canelo Alvarez had to say about him, i.e. not accepting the money on the table, and also being very disrespectful about it, about I don't like the way Turki Al-Sheikh does business, you need to do business my way, and so forth. Turki Al-Sheikh is not having that. A man of his caliber, a man of his stature, a man of his esteem, a man of his experience in business. Come on, who are you talking to, Canelo Alvarez? So Turki Al-Sheikh put out a very strong statement, ripping Canelo Alvarez. The short of the statement, basically Turki Al-Sheikh is saying that Canelo Alvarez is just a scared man. You know, Canelo Alvarez is just a scared man, a man who is afraid of facing Terence Bud Crawford, a man who is 3 divisions smaller than him. Yeah, that's almost 25 pounds smaller than Canelo Alvarez, and that is who he's afraid of. He's afraid of Canelo. He's afraid of Terence. Canelo Alvarez is afraid of jumping in the ring with Terence Bud Crawford, and that Canelo Alvarez only wants easy fights and easy paydays, and that Turki Al-Sheikh, is not into that, rather is into doing a good service for the boxing world, putting on the the biggest fights for a fair price. And all he was asking for from Canelo Alvarez is a fair price. The 100 million on the table was more than right, way more than right. 250%, I have calculated, more than what Canelo Alvarez has ever earned before in his career. The highest ever being 40 million, and that was with Golovkin in their first fight, and then again for Undisputed at 168 with Caleb Plant. Fair enough, but here's is a bigger money, way bigger, for Terence Crawford, a way smaller man. Take the money. No, so he's been dubbed a scared man, scared of Terence Crawford, and Turki Al-Sheikh concluded that if that is what you want to be, having easy fights for easy money, then you go about doing that, and I will take my money and I'll go do my just services for boxing, putting on big fights and big shows. And you can stick to the small shrimpy shows, you can stick to that. So yeah, and that's what happened. Turki Al-Sheikh then decided to dismantle all talks of Canelo Alvarez and cancel the show, cancel the whole idea, and move on with plans of making other big fights that would include Terence Bud Crawford in the main events. As we know, Terence Bud Crawford self-admitted by, by admittedly by Turki Al Sheikh, Terence Bud Crawford is his favorite fighter. So we all know that now. And one of the big show fights that Turki Al Sheikh had in mind for Terence Bud Crawford was to face off against Vergil Ortiz, who fought just this weekend. But under one condition, Vergil Ortiz was to pass the test against Serhii Bohachuk, which he did, although in very controversial manner. And I've told you already that Turki Al Sheikh, his opinion was that that fight was a draw. So in Turkey's own mind, Vergil did not pass the test. So when asked, Turki Al Sheikh said that I'm willing for that fight to get a rerun, for for them to have a rematch, i.e. Vergil Ortiz, Serhii Bohachuk, two. He wants them to meet again, Yeah, Serhii Bohachuk 2, Vergil Ortiz. That's what the man, Turki Al Sheikh, the man with the dollars, the money. Yeah, he calls the shots. And that even though he still wants Terence Crawford and Vergil Ortiz, if that took place first, he would not mind. And so yeah, and I kind of felt that he alluded to the you would rather Vergil Ortiz fought Serhii Bohachuk again before he faced Terence Crawford. So that is one direction, one fight that that Vergil Ortiz might be having next. After the fight, following Vergil Ortiz's win over the weekend, when taking a media interview, first of all, he proclaimed himself the best in the world. You can make of that what you will, but you know what time it is, and he knows too. Okay. He then went on to say when he was asked about Terence Bud Crawford and whether he would take the fight that has been presented to him, he then answered, "Let's go," meaning he's ready to take the fight. He then went further on to say that he's ready for a challenge. He agreed that Terence Bud Crawford is the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. So yeah. However, it did say that he wants to show the world that he has what it takes to beat the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world in Terence Bud Crawford. But I don't really believe him that much, because he did not really sound too convincing. You know what I mean when I say that? Because in that same interview, when asked about his plans, in fact, they didn't even ask him about his plans. He just went on to say, I'm looking to face the winner between Errol Spence and Sebastian Fondura next. Well, we know Sebastian Fondura holds the WBC belt at super welterweight, and also the WBO belt at super welterweight, which he won from, I believe, Tszu. Yeah, Tszu. He won that from Tszu, and he's gonna, and basically, there's been talks of him facing Errol Spence, who Terence Crawford, broke my heart, because I'm a big fan of Errol Spence, a big fan of Crawford too. And when it came for those two to fight, it's like I really didn't want them to fight, but it has to happen, This is boxing. It's a sport. And he beat Errol Spence in brutal fashion. totally dismantled him, you know. And that's the man that you know, Vergil Ortiz wants to face. So we can see right away that it's a duck. Quack, quack. It's quacking from a mile away, and we can hear it, you know. Yeah, so Vergil Ortiz is looking to duck for a fight that has been rumored about but has not been scheduled. So it means that the fight might not even happen. It might not even happen. He's putting his high hopes, his saving grace on Errol Spence and Vergil Ortiz, and Sebastian Fondura fighting. That may not happen at all. So you see what Vergil Ortiz is doing? Is taking the Canelo footsteps, the ducking, you know, and he's just basically copying a ducking culture that is being cultivated by none other than Duckmaster himself, Canelo Alvarez. Okay, so we're gonna put that aside for now. Yeah, having won the interim belt for the WBC, the WBC interim belt, that makes a fight that would have made him mandatory for Fondura, who actually holds the real WBC belt for the super welterweight division. But comes, you know, boxing, you know, is a very confusing sport, you know. It seems that it's actually mandatory to fight Terence Bud Crawford, it seems, who currently holds the WBA belt, which he won from Majumov, you know. And if Sebastian Fondura and Errol Spence are to face each other, Terence Bud Crawford, Sebastian Fondura would then be relieved of the WBO belt, and that WBO belt would then be transferred over to Terence Bud Crawford, which means that he will be a unified champion at super welterweight, you know. And at the moment, like I said, I thought that, you know, Vergil Ortiz might be Fondura's mandatory, but as things turn out, he's, you know, somehow Terence Crawford's mandatory, so he's due to face him next anyway. So stop running, Vergil Ortiz, and just face your fate. Everybody knows you're going to lose anyway, so you're not going to lose fans for it. Nobody ever compared you to Terence Bud Crawford. No one ever thought that you were going to beat Terence Bud Crawford in the first place. You just fight the man, get your big check. Turkey Al Sheikh, the big boss with the you know, $1 trillion bank account, money buried under the ground. He's giving you the money to fight this man. You know, he's also promised to pay a hefty amount to Terence Bud Crawford too, which I think he deserves, because boxing has done Terence Bud Crawford, sorry, in my own opinion, but I think it's true, done Terence Bud Crawford a great injustice in his entire career. This man should be totally celebrated. Yeah, and some people do celebrate him, but it's just not enough. It's just not enough. Anyway, which other fight could Vergil Ortiz be taking? Yes, Tszu. He could fight Tszu. You know, I remember Vergil Ortiz's promoter, Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya, a Hall of Famer himself, great fighter in the past. Nowadays, Mr. Cocaine Habit, you know. But we're not gonna go at him. Mr. De La Hoya had interest in Vergil Ortiz actually facing off with the former WBO champion, and in the super welterweight division, Tszu himself. And but however, Mr. Al Sheikh corrected him, that. But Mr. El Sheikh has made it clear to Oscar De La Hoya, and in an interview, a short interview, after the Bohachuk Ortiz fight, that he will not be working with Tszu. So there appears to be, you know, a little rift there. I don't really know the actual issue there, but you know, I'm hearing that Tszu is another doc, so it might be that you know, Turki Al Sheikh may have given him an offer, which may be a hefty offer, which Tszu refused. But if Oscar De La Hoya really wants that fight, he might need to pursue it alone. But how that might affect his position or his relationship with Turki Al Sheikh, I do not know. You know, but Tszu also in an interview expressed that he actually thought Vergil Ortiz won the fight. Whether he actually means that, how sincere he is in his statement, I do not know. Maybe he needs an extra pair of eyes, you know, or some thick milk glasses, you know, to be watching the fights next time. Yeah, but yeah, you said Vergil Ortiz actually won, and that he would actually pursue a fight with Vergil Ortiz. So he's interested in facing Vergil Ortiz. Is Vergil Ortiz interested in facing Tszu? I don't know, you know, but that is a prospect, another prospect for Vergil Ortiz. So he could be going in a direction of Terence Bud Crawford, which is very unlikely because he's very fearful of that. I'll say Vergil Ortiz, take that, get your big money. You deserve to get some beating and a big money, because in the past you have been talking, you know, a bit reckless. So yeah, and you're still reckless now, saying you're the best in the world. So face the #1 pound for pound and get it over and done with. Get your money, look after your family. That is all. That is what it's all about. You know, I mean, you got a beating in this fight anyway. I'm not sure you got paid that much. It's a business. It's nothing personal. Yeah. So you could be facing also the winner of it could be facing Tszu, the winner of Fondura and Spence, if that fight is to happen, and you could be facing Terence Bud Crawford. So very, very, very tough fights there for Vergil Ortiz. Which one does he have a chance of winning? Definitely not Terence Bud Crawford, but the others, I'm not quite sure. No, actually, I think I'll just throw my cards on the table and just say that he's gonna lose all of them. I don't see him winning against Fondura, not the way he performed, you know, on the weekend, and I don't see him beating Spence either. I don't see him beating any of those 4 fighters, which is actually a shame, because I actually like Vergil Ortiz. I think he's a phenomenal fighter in his own right, but you know, it's the one super welterweight is where he peaks. I'm sorry, and with those fighters there right now, I really don't see him being champion. And then to top all that up, man, you got Jermell Charlo in the equation. Jermell Charlo, the former undisputed at 154, he's also there. So man, 154 is very stacked at the moment. You know, it's big. But I do hope him and Terence Crawford do face each other. One other fight I'm looking forward to, that Turki Al Sheikh has planned to be in the undercard, you know, as the supporting fight on the Terence Bud Crawford, the planned fight between Terence Bud Crawford and Vergil Ortiz. Another fight I'm looking forward to is between Shakur Stevenson, the great defensive master, and Zepeda, William Zepeda. Shakur Stevenson is a champion at lightweight at the moment. Zepeda, however, is at the top list of every belt holder at lightweight. Is at the top list, you know, for basically is in the, is, you know, to face them, you know. And yeah, let me just think what else I got to say that, you know, might be of importance. Okay, but finally I would like to say that you know, Vergil Ortiz, judging off his fight over the weekend, is just not ready for Terence Bud Crawford. And although I really like to see the fight, although I really like Vergil Ortiz to get a beating and a big payday, despite me liking him, Terence Bud Crawford I also like. So I want all these fighters to get paid and give us fans a great big, you know, multitude of exciting fights, and that's what I want to see. That's what the fans want to see, you know. And I think it would make boxing really flourish, you know. So yeah, that's what we want. And yeah, but Vergil Ortiz is not ready for Terence Crawford. So if he does turn down the fight, I wouldn't blame him. I would not blame him at all. I would say for Terence Crawford, option wise, should maybe target other fighters. Jamel Charlo is also there, and maybe just go for big money fights, because there's nobody that wants to fight Terence Bud Crawford for some reason, unless except the smaller people in the lower divisions, like who's been talking? Teofimo Lopez has been talking a lot. That could be a fight. Teofimo Lopez happens to think that Terence Crawford is getting old now and slowing down, and before Terence Crawford totally slows down, he would like to get in the ring with him. Now Teofimo Lopez will have to jump up 2 weight classes to meet Terence Bud Crawford, which is amazing, because Teofimo Lopez couldn't even beat Adam Cambosis, a B fighter, you know. Teofimo Lopez is also had a few gifted decisions, just like Ortiz. So yeah, he has a lot of controversy surrounding him too. But yeah, Terence Crawford, go down, give these people a beating, get the money. Ryan Garcia would be a big money fight. He's been talking a lot of nonsense too. I think that would be a huge fight, because Garcia has a huge fan base despite his size. Go on, Crawford, smack him up, get your big payday, and call it a night, because Canelo don't wanna face ya. So yeah, I'll leave it there, and I'll see you next time on Body and Mind Sports on the next Boxing Talk. Pow.